We want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, singer, songwriter, musician, performer, artist, and pilot, Christopher Sluka. Hello and welcome to the show.
That's it? You're not going to say anything more about me?
And he's got a beautiful backdrop.
I was going to say that you're wearing a wig, but now I won't do that.
So
I'm just lazy. I just never can cut my hair. I don't
but you know what? Women love hair. I used to have hair that long many years ago, and they always pulled on my hair. Do they pull on your hair when they want you to go certain places?
Yes, they do.
Why is that? They can't pull on your nose or your arm or your ear. They got to pull on your hair.
Doesn't bother me at all.
It didn't bother me either.
Hold on, we have to do introductions. So
Eileen, as long as they pulled it in the right direction. Right, Eileen?
Hang on.
Eileen's our nymphomaniac. She tunes in every week.
We have to do all our introductions. So everybody, now we want to introduce first. This is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
We met. He's a nice guy. Keep him on the show.
Okay. Then we got the man behind the boards, Mr. Chad Murphy. You can't see him, but you can hear him.
Hey, Christopher. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Then we have a chat room full of people. Basically, almost every country is represented, so say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi, chat room.
And then give a special shout-out because Eileen Shapiro's in the chat room, and she's like our resident.
Yeah.
She's the nymphomaniac I was referring to.
But you like long hair.
Yes, she loves it, so you got to love it.
She's terrific. She never told me about anything like that.
What, that she's a nymph? Oh, she's a size queen. She only likes big ones. If you have 8 or 9 inches, she's yours for the week.
I'm set.
Oh, you don't know what you just said, buddy. She's gonna haunt you now, and you'll be sorry.
All right, everybody. So first of all, tell us where are you calling from? Because you have that's like your music room or something. It's beautiful.
Well, first let me just say I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Okay, it's really boring. I'm just really, really, really lucky. And I live here in San Diego. I have a very nice house, very large house, and it's basically one huge studio. So this is one room where I have my piano and a few other things, a few other instruments. And throughout the house, there's different instruments. There's a drum room, an electronic drum room, a control room, a vocal booth. I use it for anything I want to, and it's great for me because I can work 24/7 on whatever I want to work on. Whenever an idea.
Love it. I just love that. And tell everybody what the picture is to your right. It's everybody else's left, but your right.
Who painted it?
I did. So that's the cover of the new album, and it's out in vinyl as well.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was out on vinyl. How cool is that?
Wait, who painted all the artwork in your house?
I did.
Okay. Talk about the artwork above your head. That's interesting.
That is the cover from last year's album, Introversions. I also did a wonderful review of, and I really appreciated that. I was kind of laying low for several years, and then Introversions came to me and it just took off like crazy last year, which was a wonderful, wonderful surprise. Just a little background for some people that don't know anything about me, which is most people. I was signed to major labels back in the 80s and early 90s, and it was a horrible, horrible experience, as exemplified by what Prince went through. And I was lucky enough to have a lawyer who set up my own label. And so on my 4th album, I started putting them out on my own label, Steel Flower Music. And instead of getting a 1% royalty, now I get 100%.
Right. Did they wipe you out like they did so many people? We have so many recording stars that we know worked their asses off and were robbed terribly.
Yeah.
You were one of the victims?
For expenses that have nothing to do with you, but they take it out of your so-called advance.
Right.
It was just madness. But I'm very, very happy because it gave me a start, for one thing.
Yes.
And me getting my own label. And now I don't have to sell many records to make a decent living.
Exactly.
It led to 8 airplanes, a flight school, a beautiful home, wonderful state-of-the-art studio.
Now, how about your love life? Nobody to share it with?
Yeah, I've been married twice. I have a wonderful daughter. We just went to see Imagine Dragons over the weekend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. And
so you are lucky. You have a child. That's the most important part of your luck.
She's fantastic. And she's a wonderful artist, much better than I will ever be.
I have to say, first of all, how cool it would be. My parents were significantly older when I was adopted, actually. But like, I never had a parent who would be cool enough to take me to like an Imagine Dragons concert. And I think that your daughter, like, that has to be like the coolest thing ever, to have a dad who like understands the music, likes it, you know, promotes it, and you get to go cool places, and you don't go to like, you know, stupid shit.
What should I say? When I was a kid, there was the Second World War. Where the fuck were you going during the Second World War? My father was going to take me to Dragons. No, we went to see Japanese, and we used to call them Japs. Kill the Japs! Kill the Japs! Yankee dog, I kill you! That's what my dragon things
He's
were.
77, just so
and
you know.
Hitler, good old Adolf, you know, would be on the screen. So that was my dragons of the day.
No, that was no good, but I think your daughter's... So when you say your daughter's an artist, she's a musical artist, she's a visual artist, she's a painter, what kind of artist?
Illustrator.
Okay.
She would like to work for like DreamWorks, one of the animation studios, but ideally she'd like to work in the rock business now. Her first concert I took her to, when she was 15, we went to see Marilyn Manson in New York.
Oh,
and she
fantastic.
And that was it. She is set. And then after that comes Korn and Slipknot and Imagine Dragons.
That's so funny. Like, I'm from Fort Lauderdale, and Marilyn Manson's from Fort Lauderdale. And one of the guitar players' name is Brad Stewart, which was my legal name. And so literally, first of all, we used to hang out. We all hung out at the same clubs before they were like super famous. So I knew all of them then. And one of the guy who killed himself, his name was Brad Stewart. And so I would get phone calls at like 2:00 in the morning, like when I was in my 20s, you know, all the time saying, "Are you the Brad Stewart from Marilyn Manson?" You know, and I finally had to get my phone, like, you know, disconnected or whatever.
Yeah, well,
so
it's a
people
good
couldn't
thing they
find
didn't kill you by mistake.
Yeah, no, Marilyn Manson's awesome. He's just.
Wait, did you hear anything about the injury over the weekend? How he's doing?
No, I didn't hear anything about how he's doing. I just saw it on Twitter because I'm on Twitter all the time.
Happened?
He had an accident at a concert.
Marilyn?
Yeah. Brian Warner.
Maybe he tripped on his high heels.
He's very cool though, actually, and he's really very introverted. And I read his book, and I don't know, like hanging out with, and there was a lot of famous bands that are famous now that weren't when we were all hanging out together. But it was a lot of fun, and I think if I had I'm gay and I'm married to Ron, but like if I would have had a kid at a young age, I would have think it would be cool to take him to things like you get to do with your daughter too. I think that would be a really cool thing to do.
We'd love to do it, but I think there's a lot of parents out there that would disapprove.
Absolutely. But those parents go screw themselves. That's right. I love it. Okay, so let's talk. First of all, let's talk a little bit because you got a new album, Colorful. We'll kind of like talk about all the things you do, but you have a brand new album. I think it's your 11th studio album, Colorful Radiation. It's available now, and you just showed us that it's on vinyl. Is it actually in stores on vinyl anywhere?
It should be appearing any day now. It was supposed to be available like 2 or 3 days ago, but the factory had a bit of a delay, which happens a lot with vinyl.
Please tell me, vinyl. We had vinyl growing up, and we hated it because it scratches easily. The music doesn't sound as good as digital. Why are people buying vinyl? What the hell is that all about?
It's a retro thing. It's
that, retro my ass. It stinks.
It's also that having something rather large, and you can read the writing on the back and whatever's on there, and it's more of a ritual placing it on the turntable. And
oh wait, how much is a vinyl today? That album?
This one's going for $13.
Okay,
that's cheap.
In my day they were $2.95. And you got Johnny Mathis or Frank Sinatra, Peggy Lee, Doris Day. They were great singers. And the vinyl was that. Then they had the 45. Do we have 45 vinyls too?
I've only done 145, my very first record with a band called The Words back in the day.
I mean, how stupid is this going backwards with vinyl?
First of all, it's a status thing nowadays because an independent artist who can put their stuff on vinyl is like big shit.
Kidding.
As far as, yes, because nobody invests in vinyl. I mean, it's expensive to do it. It's not an inexpensive ordeal. It's very prestigious to have an album out in vinyl, especially if you get it in stores.
It's recycled linoleum.
I know, but it's I give you props for it. Working in the music industry like I do, I think it's the most coolest thing like ever, and it really is like in a lot of ways it is kind of like a status symbol. And the fact that your album cover is so cool looking and you look so cool on it, and the fact I didn't know you painted it. I don't know why I didn't put two and two together because I knew you were an artist, but I actually love it. I think the picture is amazing.
It's all the same thing. It all comes from the same place. You just try to express yourself emotionally somehow, and sometimes it's visually, sometimes it's musically, and that's also why we're doing these visual albums.
Yeah, but picture this. you're drinking, maybe you smoked a little bull, you're feeling good, and you want to change the record and you scratch it. You're screwed. Digital, you sit there on the sofa, bombed out of your mind, you don't even know who you are, and you have a clicker in your hand, and you push the button, and it changes the music. Why would anybody want vinyl?
Because it's prestigious.
Wouldn't have happened in my day when I was a hippie. We would have used them as weapons and thrown them at the cops.
I love digital, but I will say, this last record I recorded old school, just because I wanted that kind of authentic feel. In terms of just doing from each take, one to the end, right from the beginning to the end of each take, each instrument. Almost all of it was first takes unless I made a major fuck up, and didn't fix it with anything. No auto-tune, no editing, none of that kind of stuff to like fix any kind of problems. And I think it's so much better for it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it so much because
digital.
He's just saying the way he recorded it, the way he actually recorded it.
Oh, I would like to hear them side by side. Digital and vinyl, there's got to be a big difference.
Oh, there is. The vinyl is definitely not as good as the digital.
No.
I agree. But there is a demand for it, and the album's doing quite well, and so people are asking, are you going to put this out in vinyl? And I got a lot of requests for it, so I was like, okay, sure. I mean,
well, you know what kills me is everybody's so into mid-century now in the 1950s with clothing, colors, furniture, decoration, foods. Why don't they become the people we were in the 1950s? We were all true Americans. We loved our country. Nobody fought with anybody. Democrats and Republicans got along fine in the 1950s. And we were nice people. We were polite. We held doors for people. We said, thank you, may I. So if you really want to be a mid-century person, do all the things I just said, not just buy friggin' vinyl. So there you go. Fuck all of you if you didn't like what I said.
Well, first of all, the chat room, there's a bunch of DJs. They're all saying that they like vinyl better, and they still DJ with vinyl, and vinyl is trending, and it is a cool thing, and I love it. So I think it's fabulous that you've got it. Let's talk a little bit about, okay, so you got this new album. First of all, because I read in your bio, it says that, when you first started out, you did a couple of records. You were popular in Japan. Do you still go back to Japan?
I've not been there in 20 years. I'd like to go back, and I get offers quite often, but I wanted to go back when I had a hit.
Right.
Maybe this album will start taking off, and I have something that I can really do something big. I'd rather not just do the small club thing.
Right.
Go to arenas like
go back and go big.
Would you do me a favor? Pick up your guitar and play something for me.
How about an intro to number one?
I want to make sure you know how to play the guitar, that you don't have somebody else.
That's not a guitar, though, right? What is that?
A ukulele.
Ukulele. I had to learn how to do this for this one song.
What is that?
The album came to me all in about 3 weeks, start to finish, everything. All the parts were in my head, the melodies, the lyrics, and the visuals that I wanted to do for the visual album. And it was just driving me out of my mind. I was in this manic frenzy, just totally, totally crazy. And I said to myself, I don't know how to play all these different instruments like the ukulele, but it didn't really matter. All I had to do is get the sounds that were in my head. So this is the intro. It's basically the whole song, too. So it goes, we make the sun rise. We make it shine. We know God's on our side. We're number one. Number one. Number one. Number one.
What? You have a voice. You can sing. You ever think of becoming a singer?
I was thinking
maybe you could record a couple of songs and see how it flies. That was very sweet. I like that a lot. To sing to a uke.
Rock part, and the song is about my fascination with societies, groups of people, individuals that are obsessed with being number one.
Right.
Even in the music business, they're obsessed with getting to the top of the charts and how long you're at the top of the charts. What has that got to do with anything? That's nothing to do with talent.
Exactly. Because they're not in it for the art. They're in it for the bullshit. That's like people that want to be actors. You say to them, well, what's the reason you want to be an actor? I want to be famous. I want to sign autographs. They're assholes. You're an actor because you want to work. It's no joke being an actor. or a musician. Look at you, one-night stands, all the broads that throw their panties at you. You have to bang them all. You know, you got groupie chicks like Eileen Shapiro that follows Adamant. She'd blow Adamant all night long if he let her. She's going to faint.
She's going to have a heart attack.
I love you, my Eileen.
I think it's true, though.
Don't listen to him, Eileen. So, fame, let me talk about that for a second. So,
yes.
I'm not going to name drop, but I have met quite a few famous people, right? And the one thing in common is it absolutely sucks, fame. And I've been strongly advised to walk that razor's edge between the necessity to have publicity for your work that you're trying to do and avoid those temptations of getting sucked into that whole fame thing, which is part of the reason why I'm in San Diego. I just love San Diego, and it's far enough away from LA. I don't have to deal with all that. And I spent a lot of years in New York City. And
it's beautiful. I mean, San Diego's gorgeous.
Absolutely. It really is. It's completely opposite of my music.
My sister lives in La Jolla.
Oh, cool.
Very nice, near the water.
I actually think, though, because one thing about you, because like I've read every review that's been done on your last album and this album, and I've I haven't listened to the last album, but I've listened to this album exclusively and extensively, and you have a lot of comparisons, and people, I mean, it's not often that people get compared to the people that you get compared to, you know, like, so most of the time, you know, you're compared to some band that sucks. You know, when people actually talk to you and write about you as Sluka, the musician, they compare you with David Bowie, the Beatles, Coldplay, Radiohead, the Killers. I mean, these are all like, you know, top-notch, mega, like, you doesn't get any bigger kind of like people, which is such a compliment to you and the music, first of all.
I do. But I certainly don't try to be anything like them. They all do their own thing, and I'm just doing my own thing, whatever, you know, those voices that get in my head.
Well, I think, too, like, I haven't seen you live, but since we see the live footage in a lot of your videos, I would imagine that your live show is something for people to really see and something that, you know, people would take away a lot from by seeing you perform live, because it looks like you're a great performer.
How about we find out where he's performing?
We will in a minute.
I would like to, like I said before, I'd like to get a tour set up. Eileen even spoke about setting something up in the UK for December. And I'd love to do that. I know the band members would just love to tour. And the radio has been playing quite a bit of #1 as well. Actually, the first state to really start playing it, #1 was Alabama. Radio stations in Alabama. And I'm wondering if they understand that I'm being sarcastic when I talk about we're #1.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, you know, the old story, if it works, leave it alone. Don't play with it. But are you coming east? You're going to be in New York at any period, you know?
I do go to New York quite often, but I have no plans right now. I've been so immersed in finishing up the 3D aspect of the visual album. The 3D is so fantastic. I mean, you've got the sword waving at you, and it's just coming right out of the screen. It's just all these wonderful things we did with the 3D.
And that's available soon, right? When is that coming out?
November 3rd. So the Blu-ray is on Amazon now for a pre-order. And already it's selling, which is terrific. I mean, talk about it, encouraging. And remember, I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
So you have a new song, Rise. The video just came out a couple days ago. And everybody in the chat room, a lot of people know who you are, I guess, because they're saying Rise is a huge hit. And so tell us a little bit about Rise, and Chad's going to get it ready, and we're going to play it for everybody.
Oh, cool. There's a couple songs on the album that are my reaction or response to what's occurred in this country and worldwide with these populist movements. And Trump was obviously the obvious person we're talking about here. But I'm not so much concerned about Trump as I am about us.
Who's Trump? Who's Trump?
No, Donald Trump, the president.
Oh, is that what his name is?
And I find it fascinating, like #1, about people being obsessed with being #1, or this obsession with making a slogan like "Make America Great Again" or whatever, and being attracted to that. That's not how you make America great. America is an ideal. It's something we strive for that we may never attain. But forget it. I'm not a political artist, at least I never was until now. And the song Rise is about us rising up, not so much to resist, although some people seem to take it that way. It's about we need to get off our asses and solve problems. You cannot just get some quick fix charlatan who's going to say, hey, buy this snake oil and all your problems are solved. Or right. I'm the only guy who can do it. Oh, good. Problem solved. Now I can go off and stare at the sunset at the beach. No, it doesn't.
Love it.
Everyone's got to do their bit. and at least vote. That would be
There
nice.
you go. There you go. So
everybody did vote, and look what happened.
Now we're getting into all the discussion about the
No,
electoral.
I don't want to have that. I don't want to have that discussion. I want to
I
play
had
the
you
music.
make that comment because everyone did vote.
I want to play the actual music. So here's what, Chad, do you have it ready?
Aye, Captain.
All right, so Chris, what I want you to do is you introduce the video. We're going to play it so everybody can watch it, and then we'll talk for a few minutes when it's over.
All right, everybody. This is the new video and single from the album Colorful Radiation by me, Christopher Sluka, and it's called Rise.
Yay!
There you go, Jimbo.
There we go. Everybody should.
I don't.
Hang on,
wait,
you guys.
wait.
That was slow.
I don't know why, but it reminded me of the Talking Heads.
Okay.
For some reason, it was a Talking Heads, and I love the Talking Heads. That's a good song. I like that song.
Everybody, that was Sluka, and the name of the song was Rise, and it's off the album Colorful Radiation. That's out on all the digital sites now, and it's coming out on vinyl any day.
Nice sword.
And there's the sword.
Right.
Rise.
So I don't know if you can tell, but so I'm on this flatbed truck propped up with these little straps and things. We're going around San Diego, and I got a police detail in the front and behind me. There's sirens are going off, the lights, and everyone, all these San Diegans are all just looking like, what is going on? And here I am under police protection, waving this sword at people. It's just so much fun doing that.
They're lucky they didn't shoot you. Think you were another one of these nuts killing people.
So you guys are okay with this, right? Because I'm waving a sword at people in public.
Right.
Again,
well, it's better than waving a gun.
True.
So you played every instrument then?
Yes, except for Ro, the keyboardist. She did the female vocals, and another drummer I work with from time to time. He did some overdubs on a couple tracks. But
basically, you play like a million instruments.
I don't play any of them well, but I play them well enough to do the songs that I want to record that are in. Like I said, it gets into my head. I don't really write songs down like some people do. It's more like when you get a song in your head, you can't get it out, it drives you nuts. That's how it is for me with songwriting. So I get the song and I hear it's like, okay, the bass is doing this, the drums are doing this, and rather than try to explain it to somebody and not get what I want, it's much easier if I can just go in, practice it, and get what I want.
I love it. First of all, I think it's unusual. It's very cool. Everybody in the chat room is saying they loved it too, by the way.
I like that song a lot. But I'm not allowed to say why because it's against Donald Trump. And Jimmy and I cannot have any kind of political opinions because if we say we love the song, we lose all the Republicans. If we say we hate, what is the other way? Anyway, we could lose.
Who cares?
If we say we hate the song, we lose all the Democrats. You know what I mean? So we have to lay here and say we loved the music.
Well,
I love the fact that Donald Trump's pictures flashed in it.
Right. We can't support
anti-Trump. This is about people. We've seen what's happened with this election. And I was for Hillary, okay? But I wasn't enthusiastic for Hillary the way I was for Obama. But I was still for Hillary. She was a competent politician. I thought she would have done a fine job. Trump was the anti-Hillary. And regardless of how you feel about either one of them, we can do better. And that's my point here. We
Absolutely
need to get better politicians, applicants, people that can work for us.
Yes, I want to run for office. I would make America really great again. All straight people would be put in prisons, and only gay people would rule the world. And if somebody was straight, we'd beat them up, make fun of them, call them horrible names, not give them jobs, kick them out of their apartments. Just to make it even.
Gay people, yes.
All the stuff they do to gay people, I'd like to do to the straight world, especially those that say that we're insane and they throw us off roofs and they kill us. That's an issue that really should be addressed.
Absolutely.
The way that gay people, I just read something on the
We got 2 minutes. So
computer about that they wanted to make gay illegal again, make it not, you were not legal if you're gay. I mean, what the fuck, are they crazy?
This all goes back to evil happens when good people do nothing.
Absolutely. And that's what Rise is about, basically. That's
it's a good song. I like to dance to that song. It's got a good beat.
I love it.
I love playing the bass on that. It's got the nice groovy bass.
I like the part when it goes boom, boom, boom. I like that.
So we've only got 2 minutes. So first of all, everybody, if you want to go to Christopher Sluka's website, you go to www.sluka.com. You can follow him on Twitter. He's at Sluka Music, and Sluka is Sluka. The name of the album is Colorful Radiation. It's available on all the digital download sites. Like I said, the vinyl is going to be ready soon. And the 3D, to explain, you have in 1 minute, explain the 3D thing.
I just wanted something completely immersive because I love technology, like we like digital. I love technology, and there's nothing more immersive than 3D. I realize a lot of people won't be able to see it that way, at least not yet, but who knows in the future. And I also, this album goes from song to song like chapters in a book. It really is a complete story. It's not just individual songs. And if you experience it that way from start to finish with no interruptions, you'll get an experience that I hope is emotional and will last with you. And I always have to say, this has never been about me. Sure, I'm an egomaniac. You have to be a little bit, but it's never been about me. It's about finding something that anyone can relate to, that they can find sustenance to, that they can turn to for something in their life. Sometimes you just need a good cry or a good laugh, and sometimes you just dance their ass off.
I love it. All right, everybody.
Or you need a good burp.
You'll see us promoting it when it comes out in its 3D format, you guys. Follow him on Twitter. We want to thank you for coming on the show. I think the music is fabulous and everything you do is fabulous. And maybe we'll have you when the 3D thing comes out, come on for like a little 15-minute spot where we can promote it for everybody.
And do me a favor, when you're appearing in New York, comp Jimmy and I a ticket, and we'll come and see you.
I'll get one of you. The other one's got to pay.
What?
Attaboy.
He says he'll give him from one of us, but the other one's got to pay. Love it.
No, comp two comps.
And say hello to your daughter. We got to go because we're out of time. But thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everybody in the chat room. Thanks so much.
Love your song. It's a good song.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Chad, you're a rock star. Everybody, have a great weekend. Bye.
Later, fellas.
I'm just chilling. Jimmy Star, yo, sitting down and designing. Why every man never thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC. You can't test me. Big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
British, I'm your what I wanna be. Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Stars. He'll dress you right.